Right guys, welcome back to the channel. We have a controversial video today. We're going to do the Premier League's most underrated 11 and then the Premier League's most overrated 11. The underrated one I think will probably be controversy free a little bit, but once we get to the overrated one...
And that doesn't mean you're going to agree with it.
Yeah, you might not agree with the picks,
because I don't think we agreed with each other either.
Yeah, well you had a few disagreements, but I think people find underrated 11's a bit nicer, you know, but overrated 11's is going to cause a bit of
stickiness.
Yeah. Let's fucking hop in, man.
Straight in, man. Goalkeeper.
Straight in. Goalkeeper. Are we going underrated first?
Underrated first.
Yeah. So
we leave the controversy till the end.
Yeah. I went with Bernd Leno in goal. I think he's the only reason Arsenal didn't concede a shit ton more goals than they did. Like I remember at one point in the season, he had one of the most saves in the league. He'd faced some of the most shots in the top 4 divisions. So I think he's one of the reasons. He's the only reason really that he kept him afloat at that stage. So I'm going with Leno and go.
I'm going to go someone somewhat different. I'm going to go Nick Pope.
Yeah, I can see that.
He is rated. I get he's rated. I don't think he's as rated as a lot of like other goalkeepers in the league. Like he's got 15 goal or clean sheets.
Yeah.
I think it's second most or third most in the league. Like,
yeah.
And I know Burnley are sort of a defensive like team, but still, like if you're a goalkeeper, for me, 15 clean sheets, for me has to be in it.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of keepers that got less that get a lot more hype. Like Pickford, for example, gets a lot of hype.
Yeah.
And for me, isn't great.
No, you get on to him. Yeah, he
so
would be
for
my
me,
second shot.
yeah, I think Pope is going in for me.
Good shout, I think.
Right back.
I think we both the same one here, don't we? Matt Doherty.
Matt Doherty, yeah, he's been really good.
Yeah. Overlooked constantly. Like he's one of the best right backs in the league for me. He's never put up there with the kind of even Ricardo Pereira, Trent, Aaron Wan-Bissaka debate. Like he's never put up there, but I think he is one of the. I'd say probably put him fourth behind them, to be honest. Like in the league,
he is one of the better ones. Yeah, and he's consistent. Like he can do a job. He's not overly advanced in terms of offensively.
Yeah, he does a decent job going forward. Like 4
That's
goals.
It. Like he's like a well-rounded. Does it perfectly.
It's not like he's just like he's takes up that whole right side himself. Like they do play with wingers as well as their wing backs. Like so.
Yeah.
So he has the damage already up there with him, like so.
Which sort of helps. Like.
Yeah.
But I suppose again when you think about it, it sort of stops the.
Yeah, his attacking output as much. Like he doesn't.
When you have a dummy, I literally like I'll go up here and leave.
Take the ball.
Yeah. See you later.
Yeah. So Matt Doherty. Centre backs. I went with Willy Bolly and Jack O'Connell at the back. I think Willy Bolly again. I think in my opinion, he's the better of the 2 centre backs in that Wolves defence. I think you can't play with 3, but I mean like the 2 that I talked about with him and Cody. Yeah. Then Dunker has done a decent job as well in there, but I think Bolly is actually the better one. I know Cody's the captain and he's probably a better leader. But I like Willy Bolly. I think he offers a bit more physical, more aggressive. So Willy Bolly in there, and then I went with Jack O'Connell just because he's so important to that Sheffield United system, like as the way they play with their overlapping centre backs, like the way they come forward, like so he's the one that plays the main one that does that offensive work as well. So he goes in there. He had a great defensive record as well.
I would agree with that. Bolly's good. I didn't copy it. I tried to stay a bit different, like. Yeah. So I went with Tarkovsky.
Yeah, he's decent.
Again, another reason.
Just because they're clean
exactly, yeah. They got a lot of clean sheets. I think he's up there anyway for most blocks in the league.
Yeah.
Again, Burnley are going to be under the cosh because they play like a lot, so that could be like sort of stat padding, you would say. The other person that went with is Tyrone Mings. Because I think like he was solid enough. Like I think again he was up there for interceptions and blocks and stuff like that. In a team that was nearly relegated, who took it to the end, and I think he had to step up in a big way, and I think he did. You could mention, I think he was always sort of rated in a way. So to say he's underrated, but I think he's getting a lot of shit.
Yeah, I think in the last few weeks of the season, I remember he had a terrible game against United when we played them. He lost the ball on the halfway line, didn't get back in time, and we scored from it. And he didn't block the shot then when he did get back in there. I remember he had a terrible game against us, but I think overall in the season he has one really solid.
But based off the whole season, like for me he was probably the best defender.
And he did keep them up, like so.
Yeah, for me. So he done what he needed to do, I suppose. And just to be different, look, Sheffield United, I feel a bit harsh not putting in his centre back off Sheffield United. But just to be different, because you went with Sheffield United player. Could have went Bowley, as Dylan said, could have went Connor Cody as well. I think Connor Cody does get some sort of recognition. Like,
he's a good centre back. He is definitely a good centre back.
And he really is a good centre back. But I went some way different, as I said, and I'm going to stick with Tyrone Mings and Tarkovsky.
Left back, I went with Enda Stevens.
Yeah, I agree with that one as well.
Get the Irish players in there.
That's it, man.
No, I genuinely think he's been really good at left back for Sheffield United this season. Another really important player in that defence, which has been so good for them this season.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that's
100%. And I literally had to put Enda Stevens in just because I didn't have a Sheffield United player, and if I didn't put a Sheffield United player in after the season that they had, like, they were the fairy tale of Premier League.
They dropped off a bit, like, at the very end, but they were. They were challenging for fucking champions. They were especially like.
They actually were, yeah.
I think after like the CU thing came out, that's when they kind of fell off. Like, when they knew that there was no hope.
Yeah, and then they lost
Newcastle. I think it was, wasn't it? 4-1 or something. Was it?
They got a smashing 3 or 4.
I think after that did they not beat Chelsea after that?
They actually did 3-0, yeah. Actually, that's right.
I remember because they were playing the teams. Them and Wolves were playing the teams that I think Sheffield played Wolves, Chelsea, and who were Leicester. Like, and we they were the 3 teams that we were fucking fighting for. So I think they got good results against.
They smashed Chelsea actually as well.
I think
and dominated the whole game.
Beat Leicester as well. I think they might beat Leicester as well, did they? Or maybe drew with them.
I think they drew. They drew.
But they've had a brilliant season. They are the fairy tale of the season. In centre mid, I went with a 4-2-3-1, so I went with 2 centre mids. First, I went with Jeremy Coutinho in there, who I think is by far the better centre mid and has been for the last few years in that Wolves team. Neves is a decent midfielder, but I just think Coutinho's been brilliant. Like, I think he controls the tempo of games. He's a proper good midfielder. I'd love to have him even at United. Like, I think he's a brilliant midfielder. So Jeremy Coutinho gets in there for him. He's so silky on the ball. It's just brilliant player.
Yeah, and then all the fucking, it is all Neves really.
Yeah,
like it's
Neves who they talked about, because he does the Hollywood passes and the fucking, like, the long range streamers and shit,
the
like
belters, the crackers, which will always get fucking plaudits and deservedly so, because some of his goals.
They're unbelievable. He scored some of the best goals I've ever seen. Remember the one in the Championship where he flicked it up and then, like, in the top
first time up in the air and bang. Oh, what a goal!
Unbelievable. But I went with him, and then I went with a bit more defensive midfielder, and Pierre, is it Pierre Emile or Emile Pierre Højbjerg? I'm not sure which way around it is, but Højbjerg anyway. He's been brilliant for Southampton this season. I know there's talk of Spurs and a few other top teams, even Man United I think we're linked with him in centre mid, and I think he has had a really good season. He's been a big part of that resurgence for Southampton towards the end of it. The way they play with their pressing style and stuff, like, I think he's a big part of that. Big, physical, strong, and he's a good passer. He keeps the ball kicking as well. So I like him, and I threw him in there for centre mid.
I went with 4-4-2 formation. So the 2 I have in midfield is, first of all, is Buendia, because I think he's top 5 for key passes in the league. Like, for Norwich, who are relegated in almost December, like, it was sort of a no-brainer that he goes in. He did get a tiny bit of hype as well, and deservedly so. Like, but I think surely he'll be back in the Premier League next season. It's hard, like, to get in a team where you're not scoring many goals, like, you know.
Pukki was the only real goal option,
and he sort of stopped scoring in October, like. So for me, like, it's a no-brainer that he goes in. The other option that I went with, again to be different, was Isaac Hayden off Newcastle. Like, obviously since Benitez left fucking Newcastle and Bruce came in, I think there was a lot of worry around the Newcastle, because me personally, I thought, like, they're going to be scrapping here for relegation. They might get relegated. For me, Bruce has done a really good job.
I think to be fair, in a lot of games this season, they have been fairly fortunate not to. I think, but they managed to stick in there and get out there. But
and that's games, like, you know, that's football, I suppose. Like, it's realistic. I don't think they won the last, like, 5 or 6 games, like, so they were realistically safe, like, before the break came back, like. I think they finished just under Everton.
What were they, 11th? So maybe 12th they finished.
And they lost, like, I don't think they won the last 6 or 7 games, like. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they weren't even in the battle, like.
That's it, like, they were safe, like, before this thing came back up. Before the league came back after lockdown. And for me, Hayden, he's done a job. I think he's played in a couple of different positions as well. I think he's done a shift in at right back and all. Defensively, he's been brilliant. Like, and for me, he doesn't get any plaudits. So you don't hear anything about Hayden. And Newcastle, for me, had a really good season, considering how everyone thought it would have went last season. And I think he's a big part of that. So that's why I'm going to put him in. In my midfield. Yeah,
that's a good shout. I like that shout. For the attacking kind of midfield players, first I went with Willian on the right. that's a bit more of a controversial one, to be honest. Like, people don't really seem to rate Willian, and for the last few years I haven't really, like, like before the season I've seen a few glimpses, like, and I remember that one season where Chelsea were shocking and he was the best player, like, but
yeah, no,
that was about 5 years ago. But this season, 9 goals, 7 assists, and I think he had the most chances created for Chelsea as well. Like, letting him go for free to your London Royals,
it's ridiculous.
I know you don't want to pay him the money, but a lot of Chelsea fans especially don't rate him at all. Like,
that's what I was literally just going to say. That, like, up until before
really
Arsenal were linking with him, like, Arsenal fans were like, "Oh, thank God we're replacing Willian." And look, I get Ziyech and all this come in, like, but Ziyech has big shoes to fill. Like, 16 goal contributions next season in your fourth season is not going to be just a given. Like, your fourth season you need to adapt, like, and I think if you get 16 goals you'll be having a good season.
Yeah, if he gets 9 goals and 10 assists next season, I'm saying that's a good season for him.
Know, but Willian got it and it's like, no, get rid of him.
Shite, like. I know he's 32, he's getting on a bit, but I do think he's had a really good season for Chelsea. And again, like, they're missing their most creative player now apparently. Like, he's created their most chances in the league this season, so they're getting him. But they are bringing in probably Havertz and Ziyech, like, so they are getting some creativity in there. But yeah, I think Arsenal are getting a pretty decent deal. I know we're paying them for amount of wages, but
but yeah, no, I think they are as well. No, I just obviously we'll get on to Arsenal in a different video about formations and stuff, but it's a weird signing for them.
Yeah,
it's a good signing at the same as we just said. Why?
But yeah, but just based on this season anyway, I think he's been.
I like that show. Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah.
My right wing, I'm gonna play a left winger at right wing. I'm gonna go Harvey Barnes. I don't think it's hard to say. Like, I think he's underrated because I don't think he gets like much recognition. Like, he was Leicester's most creative player in a team that was pulling up trees for a lot of the season. They fell off it towards the end, like, but they were up there challenging up until Christmas. Then top 4 looked guaranteed, like, and then we come back after the break and injuries sort of fucked them up from getting top 4. In fairness, defensive injuries. Madison was out, Chilwell was out, Soonchu was out, Ricardo Pereira was out. Like, that was a lot, you know what I mean? A lot of players. But like, you still, even now, like, you look to James Maddison and you look to Yuri Tielemans, but like, Harvey Barnes for me was the most
I think he had
8 assists, I think, and 6 goals, which is.
I think Madison's out. I think in terms of chances created, Madison's ahead of him, but I think in terms of assists, I think he's up there ahead of him. So yeah, good show again. Good player. I think that is a position, like, if he got another winger.
I think the right side, like, I know Harvey Barnes, look, I put him in on my side. Well, I am going to give a mention to Maximin. Because again, as I mentioned with Newcastle,
his end product is the only thing that's really off the season.
That's the reason why he hasn't been put in. He looks a really good player. He's silky on the ball. He's a good runner. You don't want to come up against him, like, but it's just he does lack that end product. Like, he's sometimes he's too selfish and he tries too much. But I think he only got 7 goal contributions, so that's why Harvey Barnes gets the edge on him.
No, see that. For me, in attacking mid, I put in Bundy for the same reason Gavin said. 4th most chances created in the league for a struggling Norwich side. I think a top 6 team even should be snapping him up this season. Like, it should be all over him, even Man United.
If not, like Wolves, Leicester.
As a replacement for, like, let's say, like, we're looking at Grealish at the moment, but he can come in and do the job that Grealish was going to come in and do. Like, and nowhere near the price, so I'd definitely have a look at him.
I wouldn't mind my Liverpool either, to be honest.
He could be good,
especially if you don't get
Shaqiri or whatever. Like, if you get rid of Shaqiri, you can play all them positions. Like, but I know he doesn't really play with a 10, but you can play in the wings.
Again, even Arsenal, but.
Yeah, Arsenal, yeah. But they have a few wingers now, don't they, Arsenal?
They do. We can play in Cam.
Yeah.
I don't know what way. I think he's trying to play a 4-3-3. You can play maybe centre mid as an advanced midfielder.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Might fit.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, yeah. It's a given. I think with Buendia, like,
it's like a no-brainer. I think he's first name on the sheet. Really.
Yeah. He was the first one I thought of this team. Like. Then when you move on, I think I'll just to move on from that one quickly. We got with my left winger, which was, need to make sure, Dwight McNeil.
I went with him too, so.
Dwight McNeil left, we got the same winger. It's been an excellent season for him. I think he's definitely the most creative player in that Burnley side, which defends a lot, but I think he has had 7 or 8 assists this season. I think
he does, yeah. He's their most creative player.
100%, like, yeah. So, yeah, he's been brilliant. Even from the first time I saw him, like, I remember it might have been the end of.
I think he's only 20 or 21, so.
Yeah, he came in like around like the end of not last season. I think the season before he came in, and even then, and that was his dribbling and everything. He just looked really good. He came in against United one game, and he just looks really good. Yeah. Like, he looked his cross and his dribbling. He looked like a proper, like, old school kind of winger.
Yeah, no, he looks really good.
And that really suits Burnley's system, like the way they play. So
they play fucking 2 banks of 4. Like, you're playing in Burnley's tour for most of the game. Like, so to be able to get up and get, like,
usually when fucking when teams play with two strikers. They play one tall and then one kind of getting in behind us, but they just play two tackles and just fucking hit the ball.
Hold it up on McNeil. He's been really good. Like, and again, the player that doesn't get many plaudits. Like, you might start seeing now in the next couple of seasons, if he can perform and keep it up. He might start getting the plaudits he deserves. But for me, definitely has to go into the team.
100%. Your
strikers. I went with two front, as I said, the 4-4-2. So I'll say one of my strikers, because then the other one is the same one as yours. So I'll let you say that one. One of the two strikers I went with, obviously the first one is Danny Ings. I think like he got 20 goals this season. He's had his career at Liverpool wasn't great. Like, injuries really fucked him up, to be honest. Like, wasn't able to play consistently. Like, and then he goes to Southampton, which was a good move for him. But they get 20 goals. Like, no way was anyone thinking he was going to get 20 goals. Like,
Vardy, 22 goals he scored.
I think he did. I think he was one off Vardy.
And
I think there was times in the season like where you're thinking, Jesus, Danny Ings is doing great. Like, when is this going to end? And he just kept scoring. And his finishing was getting better and better and better. Like, every time you see him get a goal, it was always a better finish than the goal before. Like, and he stepped it up. Like, if he continues, like, he's going to be unbelievable. Like, again, he hasn't got many plaudits, considering he's been second top scorer. Like, no one really.
And again, I was talking about Højbjerg either, like, earlier about being the one of the reasons why it happens. He is the reason for the restoration. But the only reason I didn't go with him, like, I would have went with him. He's obviously up there, but like the only reason I didn't, because I think people are like, they see now that he is rated. Like, so I think that's the only reason I didn't go with him. But the other striker that we both ended up going with the same player, was Chris Wood. 14 fucking goals for Burnley. I didn't even know this until like last week when I saw. Like, I didn't know that he had that many goals. Like, I knew he had a decent season, but Jesus, 14 goals for Burnley. I don't think you need to say anything else than that. That's ridiculous. Like, for Burnley, like, they don't create chances at any rate. Like, other than McNeil, they have nothing up there. Like, so what?
He is like he's literally the set piece player, isn't he? Like, I know the defenders come up, but he's like, right, get the Chris Wood. And he's done the job. Look, Burnley were safe fucking months ago, like, as well, and they seem to do it every season. Like, and Chris Wood again with McNeil this season has been not only you would say Ashley Barnes is up there. He is obviously he's hyped enough. The fact Chelsea and stuff are interested in him, like, but fucking Chris Wood, like, he's
unbelievable.
No one said. Like, you don't see anything about him. Like, 14 goals and it's just brilliant. Like,
unbelievable.
Really is brilliant.
Actually, like, incredible again. I didn't even know that was the crack until I saw it like a week or two ago. Unbelievable.
So guys, that's our team.
That's our underrated team.
That's our underrated teams. If you agree, let us know. If you don't agree, let us know. Who's your teams? Let us know your teams in the comments.
On the controversial one.
Here we go.
The proper fucking one that's gonna have people wanting to kill us. Most overrated Premier League team. Let's hop right in. Goalkeeper. I think this is an easy choice, kind of for both of us. It's Jordan Pickford. He's not like I wouldn't even put him top 10 keepers in the league, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't put him. I'd put him bottom 10 keepers. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. You could say like the only one that be there. The only one that be there maybe would be like fucking Kepa, but he's not rated anymore. Like, no one fucking rates him.
No one rates him. Like,
so Jordan Pickford, 100%.
Because people still think he's one of the best. Like, and he I've seen him make some saves that are like, catch it.
Yeah, just catch it.
And he's like he has both legs over his head and flicks it over the bar. Like, and it's crazy stuff. Like, I tell you, if Roy Keane was sitting here with us talking about Pickford, like, I can only imagine the shit after the fucking little incident he's doing with fucking Daya.
Brilliant.
But fucking Pickford, he's has to be on it. Like, and I can't really, to be honest with you, I can't think of any other keeper.
De Gea maybe, but because of the season he's had and the last 2 seasons. But again, it's become to the point where people are like, people aren't still considering him. Like,
like the fact that
and you can tell he is a really good goalkeeper.
Henderson is coming back, and it's like who starts? Like, means is he is he as rated as? You know, I wouldn't say he's overhyped now. Maybe last season you could have said it because you could start to see the drop down. But Man United fans, as you would. And not only Man United fans, other fans, like,
you know what I mean?
He has a couple of bad games after the seasons that he's had.
He was our best player for like 5 years, so it's hard to.
So other than that, but I can't think of a keeper that's overrated. Like, other than that, so for me, Pickford is just nailed on. Like, here we go. This is controversial.
Right back. This is very controversial. There's a few controversial names in here. This is the first really big controversial one. Reece James in a right back. We have the same team here. Me and Gavin, like,
pretty much. We had a bit of debate. We didn't want the video to be 2 hours long, so we've just
went into it. Did the thing.
We shut our mouths really.
Reece James or right back. We both did 100% agree on this one. There's not too. The only reason really is that there's not too many options up here. He is a good right back, but I just think Chelsea fans and
like, you have to think of the hype. For me, the four hyped right backs in the Premier League at the minute, right, is Trent, Wan-Bissaka, Ricardo Pereira, and Reece James. And for me, Reece James has to fall into the out of them four has to fall into the overhyped bracket.
I don't think he's
I've seen Chelsea fans saying he's this.
He's
Wan-Bissaka and Trent mixed together.
He's Wan-Bissaka defensively and Trent going forward. Which
when he's not. He has 2 goal contributions in terms of going forward and defensively.
Wan-Bissaka has more.
Wan-Bissaka was the floor.
I think Wan-Bissaka has 4 or 5 assists this season, which is better than fucking what Reece James. It's just he's not.
It's crazy.
He's not up there for me. He's not.
Look, he's done well.
And he's only 21. So
and he will get there.
Coming from Wigan, it's not like.
But you say he's only 21. Wan-Bissaka is what?
21 as well.
Trent is
maybe 21.
21. So it's not only 21 anymore. A couple of years ago it was only 21. Now you're 21. You're right. Right, you want to start hitting the heights he's a decent and I think he will. I think he is going to get better.
Yeah, he'll develop at a different rate to the other players. But I just don't think he's up there with the best right backs in the league, and that's the only reason I'm
not right now.
I don't think he's there at that level yet.
He's top 4 as we said.
I think Doherty goes in ahead of him.
Oh yeah, that's a shout. That's a shout.
He might be top 5, but I don't know. I don't put him in the company with
that's a shout. He probably is top 5, but as we said, Matt Doherty isn't hyped at all.
No.
And then most hyped. For me, overrated.
Reece
James.
Yeah. So on to the centre backs. One of them is Toby Alderweireld that we went with. He's had a really, really, really bad season. From being one of the best kind of centre backs in the league over the last few years.
This time last season, I think it's this time last season.
I think it's season before. Remember before Van Dijk, I think joined Liverpool, he was talked about as the best.
No, I'm talking was it this time last season when there was talk of Man United need to go and sign Alderweireld. He has a 25 million release clause. Was that then?
I think that was season 4. That was
Mourinho. That was 2 seasons already.
Yeah. Time doesn't exist, man. Sorry.
Don't know what the fuck's going on.
But yeah, that was when Mourinho fucking went mental.
But
he's had a shocking season. He's been terrible.
He hasn't been
absolutely awful. He's been one of the worst kind of fucking top defenders. I haven't seen one of them play in the year. He just doesn't win anything. He's just not.
He's bad, and he will decline now rapidly.
I think injuries have hurt him a bit as well.
It has. And look, there's other shouts obviously in there. We will talk about the other shouts in a minute. This is our second choice. We went with Issa Diop.
Issa Diop in there. Again, another player from last season was really hooked. I remember Mourinho saying, "Oh fucking." He was a scout that found him when we were when we were looking at him when we played West Ham and they beat us and he was looking for excuses. Like, why did they find the, because he was giving out our centre backs at that time because we didn't sign ones. He was like, I want to talk to the scout who found the or whatever. What a defender, what a monster. Won everything or whatever. But
he hasn't.
Last season and this season he hasn't kicked on. He's been shocking this season.
West Ham's all really have been shocking this season. They just about got out relegation last 2 or 3 seasons.
They're like
the
lower version of Everton. From the bottom.
They're the bottom half Everton.
Yeah, even though Everton are bottom half.
I know, but they end up in bottom half Everton. They're predicted to go up to the top. West Ham is supposed to be best of the rest.
Yeah, they should be a
mid-table minimum.
Yeah, like a mid-table team. That's what they should be. But they always find themselves in relegation battles, and I don't see it different next season with David Moyes. To be honest, I think they'll be.
I don't either. No. Obviously depends on who they get. But I think they had a really bad defensive record, and with players like Issa Diop, it shouldn't be a case.
Even me last season, I'm like, that's actually a decent player. But do you think they spent 30 million on him? Did they?
Who?
West Ham.
Who was it?
Diop. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe maybe it was 8 or something. But I don't know.
I thought he spent or something.
I think he spent a decent amount of money on him. So I don't. It's not like he was completely.
It was just he was really hyped because I think when you was linked when you were linked with him, you're talking 40, 50, 60 million quid. So he was obviously rated in terms of a top quality centre back, and this summer just hasn't shown that quality at all. And even right now you would say he wouldn't get near Man United.
No, hopefully.
He's starting defender, he wouldn't get near.
He's not better than
so to drop that much in a season
he
has to win the team. Has to win it.
Left back, another kind of controversial one. We went with Ben Chilwell.
Yeah.
Who again, he's a good left back. There's no question about it. He's a good left back, but I feel like he's just another one of them kind of overhyped English players. Being English is not an attribute. No,
it's not you don't go, he's got 3 goals and 3 assists.
But he's English. So that's wrong time.
So it means he's not that great, but now he's English, so he's top 2. Yeah. That's not how things go. For me, he's not.
I'd still my people might disagree with me, but even I genuinely put Luke Shaw ahead of him. I genuinely think Luke Shaw is a better left back than. He's gone forward 3 goals and 3 assists. It's nothing really. And then Luke Shaw is much better defensively. So I don't know. I think I'd put Luke Shaw ahead of him.
I don't know about that one. I get the thing there.
I would I think I don't know, but really, some of you might not.
Let us know. Let us know, because that's
a controversial one.
Yeah,
out there,
let
but
us know.
yeah, I don't see him like as one of the best left backs.
I see him eventually getting there.
I don't see him as a 70 million fucking left back anyway. Like
that's a lot of money. Like, and I think Chelsea are apparently on the verge. I would say there's a lot of reports saying they're on the verge of getting.
There's much better options out there.
Like Reguilon for me is.
Yeah, Reguilon, Tellez, Grimaldo, them players are out there. Like, I don't 100%. Know what.
There is options out there. The thing, like, we are talking about the league. Just the Premier League. In the world, obviously, he probably wouldn't get a sniff, in fairness.
Yeah.
Well,
in the Premier League, he's probably up there in Premier League, but I think left backs in the Premier League. There's one left back, two, Tierney and Thing are up there, and that's about it.
And Stevens is pretty decent as well. Like, we're talking on the right.
Fair enough. But yeah,
like Cresswell. But again, Cresswell this season hasn't been good. But
he's like 34 or something.
He's not a shite defender, you know. I just like Chilwell he's the new young upcoming English defensive player. Like, you know, they had John Stones before, and I think Chilwell is sort of coming into that mold. Look, I'm not saying he's going to be like the John Stones. I'm just saying, like, time is going to tell on how that one goes. I think going to Chelsea is a big step, like,
and especially for that much money. Like, I just
think
don't think
the money is going to be a bit of a burden. Like, obviously it depends on how he is, but like, I just don't know. Like, Digne for me is ahead of him.
100%. Digne, 100%. I fucking forgot him. Yeah,
Digne, Tierney, Robertson, like, they are all ahead of him. But a lot of people right now would say, like, if you're Chelsea, like, would you not go after Digne?
Digne, yeah, surely. He's a bit older, but like
still he's top drawer. Like,
he's 7 assists again this season. Like, he's brilliant at left back. I'd love United this time actually. You need someone a bit more attacking. But yeah.
So yeah, I would agree with Chilwell being overrated.
We went with like a dime in the midfield, just because we were
4-3-1-2 sort of formation, like our FM save.
Yeah, that's the
one.
If
you're not watching, we are streaming later on today.
Yeah.
Or well, it'd be tomorrow for you. No, it'll be yesterday for you.
Yeah.
But we'll be back tomorrow for yours.
Fucking yeah.
Thanks. Nice. Yeah.
The best midfield we went with Lucas Torreira. Yeah, to be fair, I think he played a lot under Emery. I don't think he's played as much under Arteta.
No, not as much, but for a reason, for the exact same reason. Like players would still, or people would still say Torreira's top quality, like when he ain't.
I don't see him being. He's a decent midfielder, but I don't think he's amazing for me. I don't think he's up there with like.
Like, if you're not starting for Arsenal, then you can't.
Like, in that midfield, like, if Xhaka is playing Eddie, you know, there's something fucking wrong with you.
Xhaka's been decent in
Premier
League. Like, he's probably been one of Arteta's best players. Like.
True, but like.
But still,
he's. Surely you can get in into that midfield. Like, it's not like Arsenal pulling up trees or fucking doing that amazing. So
Joe Willock and Ceballos has been pretty decent as well since
under Arteta. Ceballos kicked on like towards the end of the season. So Torreira goes in there. I don't see him. He just hasn't done it really.
He gets a lot of hype. Now, I do get Arsenal fans, in fairness, and this is not how, like, they do tend to overhype a lot. Like Pepe and Pepe hasn't been shit this season.
He's been alright. He's done decent.
But like, they overhyped, like, he was the next great, the next best thing, because they're going out and spending money on him, and he hasn't done it. Like, and it's pretty much the same with every player that has a good performance for Everton. Like, Tierney's really good, and Aubameyang's really good. Yeah. And other than that, it's you know, he's pretty much like Bellerin all over again. Like, they hyped him up to the max, and I suppose injuries have.
They have fucking some love-hate relationship with him, because I remember when he was injured, like, and they were coming back. He was coming back. He had a decent one at the end of the season, then he got injured again, I think. And it was like, oh, he needs to be captain when he comes back. He needs to come back and be captain. All the Arsenal fans were saying, I was like, what? And then he came back, and again now they're hating on him. Like, I remember a few seasons ago, he was like, oh, get your fucking hair cut and stop worrying about how you look. Like, I don't know, the way you fucking go back and forth with players, I don't get it. But
it is mad. But yeah, Torreira definitely goes in there.
Torreira for me. We went with the two centre mids. We went with. One of them was controversial. One of them I think people would probably agree with. But the controversial one in this one is Ruben Neves.
For the same reasons as we described in Dylan described in his underrated team.
I think he's a good midfielder. He's not bad again. But I just think he's considered one of the best in the league, and he's nowhere near that. He's been very average, to be honest. Like,
it's like he is an average midfielder, like, and then it's like he bangs in a crack of a goal, and it's like all forgotten that he's average, and it's like, what a goal! He's top quality. He's one of the best in the league, and he gets all the hype because of the goals he scores. And you have Moutinho for me, who does pretty much everything in the central midfield, like controls the games, tempos the games, and it's Neves who gets as you said, the Hollywood fucking pass and the Hollywood goal, and it's all Neves then. So he is overhyped. we're not saying he's a terrible midfielder or he's a bad
No.
midfielder. He is a pretty good
He's
midfielder.
decent, like, but he's just not. He's not on the level that people.
His
think
numbers
he is.
this season are just not at a level that you need to get at to be like a top midfielder, like 2 goals, 2 assists, like. Especially when you have the options that like the quick players that they have going forward, and I know Wolves are sort of structured. They don't really concede goals, and
it's not like
they are playing in the 2 on their own sort of midfield. But still, like for me, if you're going to be
it's more functional, but it's
one
still
of the
like,
best midfielders in the league, your numbers have to be slightly higher. In terms of that, like 2 goals, 2 assists isn't enough to be considered as what everyone would consider him as one of the best in the league. Like.
Yeah, and I just don't see him as that.
I don't either. I do agree with that one.
The next one is Ross Barkley. I think most people would agree with this one, to be honest. Like I don't.
Again, the
another
English
overrated
attribute,
English player. Like he
hasn't touched his Everton form.
No, and but like he hasn't touched that like consistently anyway. Like he's had a few. He always comes in like every season and has a few good run of games.
Yeah,
and then just drops off. And then he's out for.
He's not. But you can say the same with Fred. Like Fred had a couple of good games for Man United, but you don't see us saying like,
no, he's
this
not
and that.
Like, any of these things because no one.
Because he's not. It's just that's the player he is. Like, he doesn't pull up trees. Like he is very overrated. Like it's like. When Barkley was saying, here we go, we need to get Barkley on, he's going to make a difference, and he never does. The really level, I think people still see Barkley at Everton. Like right now, when you look at Barkley,
what is he 27 now? 20?
I think he's getting on 26, 27. He's probably 28.
Don't quote me on that. Like. He's not like he's never ever kicked on, and even at Everton he had one pretty like good season, and other than that, I don't think
it was the season that before he went to Chelsea. Like.
Yeah.
I think the season before he went.
I think it might have even been the season before he went to Chelsea. Like
I think he had a decent season, then he kicked it on. Like I think he was okay, and then he stepped it up a little bit.
I think him and Lukaku had a really good partnership. Everton for about 2 seasons, they had a really good connection.
Like Barkley was good. He was like starting into his own. Then he came into his own. Then he left, and then he just never got there again.
So,
consistently. So for me, it's an no-brainer. Like another one as well, is basically his replacement at Everton, Gavin
Sigurdsson. What he just never. Ever since he was good at Swansea.
Again, literally the same reason as Barkley.
He was at Swansea and then went to Spurs and then went back to Swansea. Did he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I think I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, good at Swansea.
I don't think he went. Did he?
I know he went. He was at. Where did he go to Spurs from? I think I might have
went. I think he went to Spurs from Swansea.
Yeah, and then he went back to Swansea, didn't he? And then went to fucking Everton.
Didn't go from Spurs to Everton, didn't he?
No. He went to Swansea. Yeah, no, he definitely was playing for Swansea before he went to Everton. The season, I think it might have been the season.
I think you went on loan then to Spurs and then went back to Everton, and then went back to Swansea and then went to Everton.
Yeah, that might have been it. But
again, like his numbers just aren't near anything. Like he's the cam, he's creative.
And he's
spark for Everton.
He has a screamer in him. He has a good shot. He's great at set pieces, but his general play just
isn't there. Like,
it's not up there, no.
Isn't there? He can take a good, as we said, a good set piece, a good volley, or and it's Sigurdsson is this and
them players. It's not. You can't rely on them players to just.
He's like an Ozil.
And even Ozil, like is creative. Like he's actually really creative when he gets the ball. Usually, anyway, not for the last few.
Yeah, it's like as you said before, like it's just the work rate and stuff really isn't there. Sigurdsson, like it is just to get the ball to him. Like he has a good pass on him, a key pass on him, or he might like have a good effort at the goal, or he might get a banger of a goal. Yeah. But then other than that, like, it's
if that's all you have, like long shots, being the long shots are never just gonna like. Then like that's never gonna make you a world class player.
No, it's not. And like, but even
working everything else in the game, like
100%. And he hasn't like stepped it up at Everton for me.
No.
Like
back in a few years ago, at Swansea, I probably would have put him up as one of the most underrated players in the league. But just since then, like he just hasn't.
Then he went for the 50 million, so then people are starting to expect that he does at Swansea, like he does it most games what he done at Swansea, like, which is to be expected at 50 million quid, and he just hasn't done it. Like he might have had one good season at Everton, I think. I think he got double digits assists. I think
maybe one good season. This season he's been shocking, and definitely one of the other seasons.
Last couple of seasons, hasn't been 2 seasons at least. Like he just hasn't been at it at all.
Hasn't kicked on at all now.
Right, we went with a 4-2-1-2 as we said.
The 2 strikers are kind of wingers, but
like converted into strikers,
yeah.
But for me, they would be. One of them is very overrated, I would say, and the other one is controversial.
Oh, very, very, very. This is the most controversial player we have in the team, but we'll go with the less controversial player first. He is. I'd still say people like some fans would say, "Oh, that's not right," but
100%. 100%.
There will be some.
Look, it's opinion based. It's not. We're not right here. It's not. These two are right. So that's it. Like, we want you to let us know what you think too, and put us right if we're wrong. But it is just opinion. Like, you know.
Let's get into them. First one, Wilfried Zaha.
Wow.
Right, well, that's the less controversial one. But yeah, 4 goals, 3 assists in the league. What? Like that's nothing. Like you can't. And like, still talked about was what fucking 60, 70.
Like right now, you went from like with COVID-19, now like you're talking 50, 60 million.
Yeah, and
easy. Like.
And Arsenal last season 80 million they're gonna pay for them or something.
It's ridiculous.
The Pepe became available. Like.
So like if Arsenal had went down and got 7 goals.
Yeah, and Pepe is considered
paid
like
60
a proper
million,
forgetting what fucking.
Like if Arsenal investigated the Pepe for 70 million.
Yeah, imagine what
they fucking would have done to Gasaha again.
Yeah.
The whole English attribute, like.
He's not English.
He's not.
There he goes. But no, just.
It's like.
And to be fair, even last season, like he had a much better season last season. That was probably his best season in the last few years. Last year, I think he played a good bit up front.
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, that's true.
But even then, I was thinking like, his goal contributions just never up there.
He's good in the ball. And he's a brilliant dribbler.
Like, but
you need end product when you're talking 60, 70 million. Like.
Yeah, and his end product just isn't there all the time. Like he's brilliant. Brilliant to watch. Like when you watch him and he's fucking taking
and when he's on form, like he looks really good. He causes a lot of trouble.
The Chelsea game, when Chelsea just scraped the win against them. Like I remember he was just fucking tearing their defence apart, and I don't know how he didn't concede some of the goals, but the end product was just off again. Like, but Wilfried Zaha, I've taught it for a few seasons. And he goes in the team.
Here we go,
lads.
The most controversial probably decision of the whole video.
As we say it on count, right? 1, 2, 3.
Raheem Sterling.
Right, and people will say we're being reactionary after the missing Champions League. We're
nothing to do with that. Like it literally
again,
is
another player that I've taught for a while. The first stat that we're going to throw out there is that this season he's had 1 assist in the league.
1 assist, like, and look at it, like in terms of like he's a winger, he's not a striker. For me, I'm not saying your wingers need to be just assisting. They need to be getting goals. I get that. Yeah. But like to get 1 assist when you're playing with the likes of Aguero, Mahrez, De Bruyne, Jesus, like it's just like
not good enough.
Not good enough, like
really not.
But this is the stat. This is the stat for me, right? Is like he has 20 goals, and we're saying he's overhyped. Like,
but he's 20 goals, right? But how many chances does he get created for him in a game? Like, and his movement is brilliant. I think he's
he's brilliant. Yeah,
he's moving in behind, and he's good. He's great in the ball. But I think if you put like a Martial, a Rashford, a Sané, or
Mane,
like any of them kind of players, I think they get 30 goals. I think they score more goals than him.
Minimum.
His finishing is just, and like it's not just that missing in the quarters. Like it's nothing to do with that. I've said it for a while that it just. The team that he plays for makes him look better than he actually is. I don't think he's getting that many goals for any team. Like say a mid-table team.
Like so you swap Martial for Sterling.
Yeah, man.
He doesn't get 20 a season.
No.
He probably gets 10, 15.
Yeah, and that's the thing with him. And his movement again is brilliant. But
like if he's like, and he's been talked as one of the best in the league, like one of the best in the world.
I remember not this season, but last season, and the season before, he was talked about was like literally top 5 players in the world, and I've just never ever seen him at that level. Like he's a great player, but I've just never put him in that echelon. Like he's not up there with the Neymars or the Hazards or any of them players. Like I just don't see it. I've never seen it. Like I've seen him as a really good player. He's an excellent. I say excellent goal scorer, but his movement and his pace, it causes the team troubles. Like, and he is a good player, but. And he's a great
when he
player.
gets the ball, turns and runs at you. Like he's one of the players in the league that you don't want to turn and run at you. Like there is a couple of them, like, and he's one of them.
Yeah.
But as we said, like if you're getting 2 or 3 chances in a game, like
it's gonna be.
You should be getting 20 goals. You should be. Yeah. Like we're talking Zaha there, and some of you will agree with Zaha. But if Zaha goes to City, like for me, he probably get like Mahrez.
I don't think he gets 20.
Mahrez played I think he got 18. Played 18 games. Like he has 20 goal contributions. Yeah. Like. Played 18 games, and Sterling has 21 goal contributions in 36 games.
I think Mahrez as an all-round player is probably just. I think he's better than Sterling, to be honest. Like as an all-round footballer,
like that's
a controversial one as well. But I think as an all-round footballer, he is. I think again off the ball is Sterling's best asset for me. Like when he's moving and getting in behind, and
he picks up lovely spaces. Like he really does. And that's what causes a lot of defenders trouble. Like, but like. He got 20 goals. He's had a good season. And
you're not going to complain. You're going to say he's shy after scoring 20 goals.
We're not saying he's a shy player. Like he's a really good player, but it's just we're saying he's overrated. As in, like he's overhyped. He's not. For me, he's not one of the best in the world.
No.
I would still say he's up there. Like
in the Premier League, he's up there. I think
he's not top 3. I would say.
No, not even top 3 in the Premier League. Top 10 in the Premier League probably.
Probably top
I
10.
put him top 10 in the Premier League, but not top 10 in the
That's
world.
without going through for me. All the players. Like I'm sure if we all sat and we fucking had a chat about it, like he might be outside, he might be further up than we're saying, but for me, like any decent winger in the league would get would get fairly close to his goal contributions for me.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah,
that's the controversial one.
That's the one that's really like people aren't gonna like that one. I don't think.
And look, let us know. Are we just being stupid? Like, are we being reactionary? Like, it's not just because he missed like a sitter. Like, and it's not his first one either. To be fair.
No.
But it's that is what we think. We have agreed on that. So let us know what you think. Let us know in the comments. Tell us your underrated teams, your overrated teams.
Both of them. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
See you later, guys.
Bye.